English teacher. Today we have the selection, the great fire that happened in London. So let's see who are the main characters. Patrick Olry is the owner of the barn where the fire began. A barn is a farm or a place where animals are kept. Animals or grains are kept. Second character is Catherine Olry. So she's the wife of Patrick. She is blamed for starting the fire. Maybe she is behind the fire that happened. Daniel, the main character, who's called Pig Leg, Salvian, is called Pig Leg because he has only one leg and the other leg is a wooden leg. It is made of wood. So he is a wagon driver who is the first person to see the fire. He was the first one to see the fire. William Lee is neighbor of all. William Lee, neighbor of the owners, attempts to raise the alarm about the fire. So he attempts to warn the people about the dangerous situation. Gold, the owner of the drugstore. What is this story about? It's about the great fire that happened in Chicago. The huge fire started in the owner's barnyard. Barnyard is a place where they kept animals like cows, horses, or grains, and lasted for 30 hours. It lasted for a long time, 30 hours. On October 8, 1871, on a lazy Sunday, a fire broke out in a barn near the edge of Chicago. According to Murphy, so Murphy is the writer of this story, no one knows for certain how the fire started. So no one knows the reason behind this fire. But some people said that the fire began when a cow being milked by Catherine kicked over a gas lamp. Okay, so the cow kicked a gas lamp. That's why the fire began. At that time, Chicago was the mindset of a long drought, so there was no rain at all, and all the buildings are made of wood. So making its wooden buildings and wooden sidewalks very dry, and thus vulnerable to fire. Vulnerable to fire means they are ready to get or to catch the fire. So the buildings are made of wood so they can easily get burned. They are jerry-built buildings, mean they are poorly built buildings. Daniel Big Leg, he's called Big Leg again because he has a wooden leg. He was the first one to notice the fire and ran to save the cows in the barn. So he's a very strong man. He's the first one who ran to save the cows and to tell the owners that their property was in fire. Okay, just to notice that it's a very dangerous situation. William Lee, a neighbor of the owners, hurried to the drugstore to turn in a fire alarm. So in these situations, when there's a fire, they use a fire alarm, okay, just to warn the people of the dangerous situation. So, but Bruno Gold, the owner of the drugstore, didn't allow him because of all the fire trucks had left. At that time in Chicago, there's a lot of fires. Okay, this is because of the weather. They have a very dry weather. There were no rains, and also the buildings are made of or are built of woods. To spread to other parts of the neighborhood and destroyed everything in its path. The fire trucks were sent again to the wrong location, and the fire continued to spread. The fire advanced from the Always barn towards Jefferson Street before the firefighters finally showed up to the right location of the fire. So they were exhausted from multiple fires over the past week and didn't have enough energy to stop the fire from spreading to other parts of the city. So the residents or the people who are inhabiting this city uh, took whatever valuables they could from their houses and ran away from the fire. So people started to run away from the fire and take everything in their houses as much as they can. Dorsey, who is a fireman, ran to the drugstore and pulled the lever to sound the fire alarm. But no one responded. He tried to sound the fire alarm, but no one responded. and the fire continued to grow with the power of the wind. So, because of the wind, the fire grew more, okay? It burned more houses and injured many firefighters. As the fire kept moving toward other parts of the city, it started to rain. So, which gave the people of the city hope. Okay, so the rain will stop the fire, of course. By, by morning, the fire that devastated the city was no more. It had completely destroyed. Okay, this is out of the rain, of course. Many parts of the city caused 100,000 to become homeless and killed about 300 people, with many reported missing. After the fire, the people of Chicago began to rebuild the city and received aid from other states. So it started to rebuild their city again, okay? The United States Army put up tents for the people that lost their houses. Later, the residents of the city accused the owners of starting the fire, which caused them to have to sell their property and leave Chicago because of the fear that they might be killed by the angry citizens of Chicago. Before the Great Fire that ends everything in Chicago, Chicago was known as the Queen City of the West and the gem of the Valley. Now it was nothing but dust. The fire that devastated it, and Chicago was known as the Queen City. Now it was nothing but dust. Okay, so guys, this is about the Great Fire that happened in Chicago. You have to read the text carefully and check everything carefully. If you